Alex Murdaugh's defense says it plans to appeal his guilty verdict in the murders of his wife Maggie and son Paul. The judge on Friday sentenced him to life in prison, 2 consecutive life sentences. This is Murdaugh's new mugshot from the South Carolina Department of Corrections. His head is now shaved. That is standard practice. He will now undergo medical, mental health, and educational tests. That will take about 45 days. And then from there, he will be sent to one of the state's maximum security prisons. But this is not over. In fact, it may, some say, be just the beginning of his ongoing legal troubles. He faces numerous other charges, 99 in fact, for his alleged financial crimes alone, many of which he has admitted to and did so during the murder trial. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney and legal analyst Jonna Spillbor this morning to talk more about it. My head's still spinning from Friday and the judge not holding anything back in his sentencing, Jonna. Let me start with just your reaction. And attorney Jim Griffin, who was part of the defense team, went on Chris Cuomo's show Friday and called it a miscarriage of justice. Now that we've had a little bit of time to let it sink in, what are your thoughts?
You know, in terms of the sentencing, I thought Judge Newman's comments were eloquent, thoughtful, and at times completely inappropriate. And I say that because it was almost as if he was trying to get Alex Murdaugh to fess up, as if they were having a one-on-one conversation based on their history together. You know, and just talk to me, Alex. Tell me that you did it. Maybe atone for your sins. And it's inappropriate for any judge to do that right before you sentence somebody to eternity in state prison, which ultimately was the sentence. So I agree with Jim Griffin. I think that there are going to be numerous grounds for appeal for this conviction for Alex Murdaugh.
And maybe the biggest one will be the financial crimes, that the judge allowed that in as evidence and testimony. Do you think that that will be where the defense starts?
Oh, yeah, that is probably one of the biggest legal issues. It was big when it was happening in real time, and it remains big. I often think, Marni, you know, if we could go back in time and cut that portion of this criminal trial out, would the jurors have had a different result? Would the public have a different opinion of Alex Murdaugh? And I think the resounding answer to that is yes. That's going to be a major issue on appeal, and it might even be a successful issue on appeal. The caveat to that is oftentimes appeals are unsuccessful. This could be an exception to that rule.
Well, and I'm really curious, what was the turning point for the jury? Was it, in fact, the financial crimes and his admittance to lying to person after person, clients who trusted him? Or was it the Snapchat video, and then he takes the stand himself? At least one juror said for him, he didn't find him credible, crocodile tears as he presented his witness testimony.
Yeah, precisely. And again, that really harkens back to all the financial crime information, because the juror didn't find him credible. Well, all of that testimony, which wasn't supposed to be used for that purpose, it wasn't supposed to be used to show his bad character, was indeed used to show his bad character. We do this to jurors all the time, and it's frankly unfair. We take 12 people with no legal background. We throw a complicated legal concept at them, like you can use this evidence for this, but not for this, and then we expect them to get it just like that. It's not fair to jurors, and in this case, it may not have been fair to the defendant.
So how about the case with all these financial crimes? So Clifton Newman, the judge presiding in the murder trial, will preside over these financial crimes. And he even said he's not going to delay. They're going to get right into it. He questioned, though, in his public comments in front of the court, whether it would remain in Colleton County if they had overstayed their welcome. What happens with this case? Where does it go? And what will be the things the judge considers?
Well, you know, it sounds like the prosecutors really just smell blood in the water, but I'm curious as to why he will even have a trial on some of these 99 other crimes, because he admitted to so many of them during the course of his murder trial. So why can't we skip the trial, get right to some sort of sentence? Maybe he can plead for some sort of mercy in the event that his murder convictions get overturned and he has a chance to see the light of day at some point. That's the long shot, Marni, but I would be angling if I were representing him on those additional crimes for that particular purpose.
Well, and the question remains, can they recoup any of the money? I mean, millions and millions of dollars were allegedly stolen. Where is this money?
And that's my question, too. Where's the money? You know, Buster is going to have a say in this, because if Buster stands to get any money from the death of his mother. Buster's not a criminal. His mother wasn't a criminal. That money should be untouchable by people who want to get restitution in his future criminal cases, or even people who want to get civil verdicts or settlements in the civil cases that we still have to talk about. But I don't know where the money went. I'm sure the people who are interested in finding it will try to find it, but it might be gone. I mean, can you get blood out of a stone? That's going to be the next big thing to come up in these cases.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.